Hey, FinCon family, this is Bethany Bayless, and I am here with Derrick Hicks from ConvertKit. And we're going to be talking today about how brands are putting out content and his best tips when it comes to putting out engaging content that drives traffic to your site. So, Derrick, can you tell us just a little bit about ConvertKit and who you are and what you do and all those good things?
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. So I'm the director of marketing and data at ConvertKit. I lead a really awesome team of people that help produce all the content and help us, carve out market share and make sure that all the teams in the company have the right data. So those are the efforts I lead.
Very cool. And just in case someone is not familiar with ConvertKit, what does ConvertKit do?
ConvertKit is an email marketing tool software built for creators. So our mission is to help creators earn a living online, and we do that through email marketing software, helping them connect with their audience and earn a living online.
Awesome. It's so cool. And what kind of content are you guys putting out currently from ConvertKit?
We produce a lot of content, and it's interesting. Before the interview, I just was thinking, what is content, right? So we just launched this week a challenge, a landing page challenge. It's a 30-day challenge or a competition, and we came to the idea based on data, and we saw that if people published a landing page in our tool, they were far more likely to stick around after a trial. And so the marketing team got together. We thought, how do we get more people to produce a landing page? And so we created the landing page challenge, which officially launches on the 1st of April. So coming up here in a week, or a little over a week. And it's all about getting people to produce a landing page in ConvertKit and get subscribers, get as many subscribers as you can within 30 days. And there's up to $5,000 available to win.
Wow, awesome.
And throughout the competition, we're creating webinars to help train people how to create a landing page and a lot of supporting articles and content. And so, a lot of people might not think that a contest or a challenge is content, but that's one thing that we've worked really hard on this quarter. And then we have a lot of supporting content around this concept of a challenge. And so outside of that, we do webinars with our affiliate partners all the time. We produce a lot of written word, articles, and video as well. We're starting to do more video.
Yeah.
Lots of different kinds of content.
Yeah. What kind of video are you putting out specifically?
A lot of it's webinars.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep, that's really a core pillar of our growth.
Yeah.
It's from webinars.
And what kind of things are you teaching on the webinars?
So we teach a lot around growing your email list. That's a core pillar, of course, as well as engaging with your audience, engaging with your list, and sending different kinds of content that's really going to engage them and get them to sign up for a different list or download an ebook or maybe even purchase a book if you published one. So we do a lot of training around how to grow your list, how to connect with your audience, and how to earn a living through email and connecting with that audience, with that list.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And when it comes to just putting out great content, as a brand and as a brand that's putting out good content, what would you suggest? Let's go over just like your top 5 tips for brands when it comes to putting out content that is engaging, that drives traffic, and that has a lot of just benefit for you that maybe not everyone would think of, marketing tools or whatever that is. So let's go over those top 5 tips.
Yeah. So one of the biggest tips that I think a lot of marketers might get hung up on, and you got to remember this tip, and that is all the kinds of content that you can create. Don't get locked into a certain type of content like an article or a video. Remember that it can be a contest. It can be data or a data visualization, an infographic. There's tons of different kinds of content that you can create, and it's really important to match the kind of content you're creating with whatever it takes to deliver that information in a compelling way and connect with your audience.
Yeah.
Match the two together. Don't just produce an article because you always do or you always have.
Yeah.
Just match the content type to the topic being covered. That would be one of my biggest tips.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Another tip is really make sure the content you're creating is aligned with your strategy as a business. So last year, at the end of last year, the leadership team at ConvertKit got together and we did a deep dive into the business, and we saw a lot of top of the funnel performance doing really well, like great traffic growth, a lot of new leads coming in, thousands of new leads coming in. But we saw a big drop off of people not engaging enough in the product and not activating in the product.
Yeah.
So we've oriented all of our marketing efforts, at least for the first half of the year, around creating different kinds of content or whatever it takes to increase engagement of people that are in trial. And so that's what sparked the idea for the landing page challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it's aligned perfectly with the core thing we need to work on in the business.
Yeah.
And it's not just producing content for the sake of just growing traffic.
Yeah.
We could do that, and we could spend our time working on growing traffic. But right now, the needs of the business are we need to increase engagement from the trials that we're already generating.
Yeah.
We've oriented our marketing efforts around solving for that.
Can you give me a few specific examples of those things that you are doing that are creating engagement and what you have found successful in that specifically?
Yeah, so we're aligning the entire company right now is aligned around this core initiative of increasing trial to paid conversion rates. So we've created a ton of new landing page templates on the product side. We've really improved the onboarding experience by using intercom and different chat tools. And then on the content side, we're creating articles that either help people understand how to use the product better, or the landing page challenge is a good example.
Right. Uh-huh.
And then we've also identified like core customer segments that are more likely to convert than others. And we've created content to support drawing in those kind of people. So people that are maybe a little bit more advanced with email marketing, we've created content and are creating content that might draw those people in over brand new beginners that are just learning about email.
Yeah. Could you give
so
me
a lot of activity happening.
Could you give me an example of maybe like a name of or a subject of one of those articles that you would draw in, like someone very specific? So it's very hyper oriented when it comes to exactly your target audience. Like, what would be one of those topics that you would share with them?
That's a good question. So we have, trying to think of some of the more specific articles we've created. So we have the first article that comes to mind, email deliverability. So how to get emails into an inbox, for example. Like that might sound easy on the surface, but it's actually a very advanced topic.
Yeah.
And anybody searching around that topic is going to be more likely to be an advanced user of email marketing software. A beginner that is just learning about email marketing isn't going to search for deliverability tips, for example. So that's probably a really good example.
That is a great example. That's awesome. And what would be your next tip? So we've already covered about two of them. What would be your third one?
Oh, yeah. Let me go back to my list here.
You have really good points.
Yes. Thank you. So align your content to your strategy. That was the big tip there. Make content it's the absolute best quality you possibly can. You hear that all the time. But I think you need to balance that with the kind of content that exists out there. So if you see stuff that is way beyond what you could possibly create in terms of value and and how high quality that content is, you might be better served to move on to a different topic that is at the level that's your max quality that you could achieve.
Yeah.
So match like the max quality you could achieve with making it the best that's available out there. So you have to compare with what your competitors are doing and what you're capable of achieving.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about that quality? So when I think of quality and high quality things, so I mean the first thing that comes to my mind is video, right?
Yep.
Having high quality video or having high quality sound if you're doing a podcast or high quality production or things like that. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about a different quality?
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
So it obviously depends on the medium you're using. So if you're creating video, absolutely, you need to try to figure out what's the highest quality we could create that video. If it's an article, you need to figure out like what is if you're going after an SEO play, an organic search play, then you need to figure out exactly what the search intent is for that topic. Do they want something short and simple? Or do they want something really advanced, like the deliverability content? Like that's heavy duty content. There's a lot of words in there and a lot of images to help explain it.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of match the intent as well as the medium that you're using, and try to bump that quality up as high as you possibly can.
Yeah. Make it look good, right?
Yeah. The game of how advanced and how high quality things need to be, that game is just, it's going higher and higher. It's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And figure out how to make it happen.
Well, and it's constantly changing, I feel like, right? So like the quality is always increasing. Like even like fonts on a website that were relevant 1 years ago aren't maybe the fonts that are popular and look good today. So keeping learning and changing and updating and all of that thing, it could be a lot of work, but it really matters in the long run, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And what's tip number 4?
Let's see. Tip number 4: define what success is and how you might measure that before you create your content. That could be as simple as growing traffic, but I think it's important to dig deeper into why you want to grow that traffic and what you hope the user will do if they're going to land on an article or a video. What action do you want that experience to spark, and how are you going to measure that to make sure that it was a success? By doing that, it helps you better define and understand how high of quality content it needs to be. And so it's really important to define success and what that might look like before you start creating content.
Yeah. Can we get an example of that? What would you define as success?
So going back to the landing page challenge.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We set very specific goals around the number of landing pages we wanted to see published in a month. So that number, I think it's 6,230 unique users publishing a landing page. That is our core measure of success for this campaign. And from there, we back into it, like how many people do we need to have sign up for it? How many people do we need to send to that page like traffic-wise to generate enough signups to generate enough landing pages being published? And so without that core defining measure of success, it makes it harder to predict how much traffic we need to try to drive to it in terms of ad campaigns or the number of emails we need to send to our list. That measure of success helps us learn how hard we need to lean in to any given marketing campaign or initiative.
Yeah, and it gives you a target to hit. You know, if you know where you're going to hit the target, then you could hit it every time instead of, if you don't know the target, you're going to miss it every time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. We try to win or learn, but we never want to fail. And if you don't have clear measures of success, you're not really learning. If you miss the mark, right? If you're just trying things, you're not. Maybe you won, maybe you didn't. And so it's really important to define success before you go into a project.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And what's your last point that you have for us?
The last one, you hear it all the time: be consistent, be
Yeah.
patient. Um, but it's true. It's, maybe not exciting to hear that, but it is the truth. You got to be consistent, got to be patient. Um, if you're measuring success and you understand whether you're winning or failing, winning or learning,
Yeah.
that learning process is going to help you navigate uh, the changes you need to make to start winning.
Yeah.
But you have to be patient and consistent to get through those learnings.
Yeah, and what does consistency look like for you guys? Is it like you post a post on a certain day and you consistently do that, or is it that you're consistently putting out a certain piece of content at your own pace? What does consistency look like for you guys?
It's certainly around swinging often,
Yeah,
at the same times, producing content, and getting it out the door. But consistency, it can be making sure we do a big marketing push every quarter. That would be like a big consistent thing.
yeah,
Or it could be a small thing where we want to make sure we're launching enough small tests and iterating on things that we launched in the past. And so we watch, we're setting goals around launching a certain number of tests every single month, to ensure that we're consistently getting learnings and consistently trying new things.
yeah.
So it could be big, consistent, like once a quarter things, or once a week or once a month. But you always want to be trying, and being really consistent and patient through that process.
Yeah, and this is a question you weren't ready for, but I'm going to throw it at you. What are some little wins that people could see along the way that will help them when it comes to being consistent, when it comes to being those things? What are just some little things they can see here and there that might just help them?
So a little thing, we created what we call a growth framework. And the growth framework is just a process of setting an objective, an experience we want to create, and generating a lot of ideas on how we could improve that experience. And then we launch tests. We turn those ideas into tests. And so a little thing that you could do is set an objective, like we want to increase the conversion rate, the sign up rate for an email opt-in, for example. Well, here's 5 ideas that we have on how we could make that happen. Like even little things like changing the text in the button or changing the header of that form. And you try it. You put it out there, see what happens. I would recommend A/B testing, but that might be pretty advanced for a lot of users out there. But yeah, so if you line up some of those small tests and get it out, try it,
Yeah.
see what happens, put it out there for a couple weeks, see if it increases the conversion rate or not.
Yep.
So I don't know. That would be my tip: is pick something you want to work on, generate as many ideas as you can, and just try them. And maybe set a consistent cadence of once a week or once every other week, where no matter what happens, you're going to try the next thing. If you have data, if you have advanced data and capabilities, then maybe you want to look at statistical confidence and all that good stuff. But that might be more advanced.
Yeah, I feel like that's a whole other conversation. That's amazing. Well, Derrick, thank you so much for coming on today. I just so appreciate what you're doing and the content that you guys are putting out, and I really love the tips that you had for our audience. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.